Wildcat Football Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with head coach Kevin Sumlin. Wildcats hit the road for the first time this season as they take on the Houston Cougars Saturday morning, Arizona time, down in Houston. Coach, before we get to that ball game, just a quick look back at the opener against BYU. I wanted to ask you about the young guys. You had a lot of players playing in their first college football game. As a whole, how did you like the way that they reacted to that first game and performed?
Well, I thought that as a whole, the whole group, we had 4 new starters in the offensive line. You had some freshmen that were out there playing. And it was some good, some bad, which happens with young guys. And I think they've got a game under their belt. They know what it's like, what the speed of the game is, and what the intensity level is right now. And so it's a learning experience for them and a learning experience for our coaching staff and to get them in the right positions to be successful. We know a lot more about them now, and I said that last week at the press conference when everybody asked me. I said, we'll know a lot more about our team by midnight Saturday night, and we do. We've got to be able to put our guys in a position, in the best position to be successful.
I wanted to ask you about one player. It's Isaiah Hayes, who is a great story because he had an injury, sat out, came back, had 13 tackles now in the opener. Can you just maybe talk about a guy coming back after some adversity and being able to make the impact he did right away?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. He's been that kind of guy throughout training camp. He has gotten more and more confidence coming off that injury situation, and just is a really unselfish player, communicates well with everybody, and as you said, he's very, very efficient and very, very productive for us, and he's a great story, and perseverance and toughness and character and everything you'd like at that position, and as a person, he's just great to be around.
Let's talk about the Houston Cougars now and their poster guy. I'll call him guy because he's a man, is Ed Oliver.
Yeah, he's more than a poster guy. Yeah. He's a really good player.
He might be the best player in college football.
Ed Oliver is a very, very special athlete and one of the best players in the country. So you can't ignore his talents. He's done it against everybody, and as the coaching staff, we got to put our guys in the best position to be successful. He's powerful, he's big, he's quick, he's got great demeanor. He's a special talent, and he's a handful.
On the offensive side, Houston has a young quarterback, De'Aaron King, had 320 yards passing in the opener against Rice. Is he a dual-threat quarterback? What kind of style will we see?
Yeah, he can do it all. I mean, you see that their whole team, and they're explosive. I mean, it was a close game for the first half, and then they just took over the second half. And I think if you look at their scheme and their style, Kendall Browse that's what he's known for. The same thing at Baylor, and so their style is one that he's going to throw it, but he's going to also be able to take off when he needs to do that. They've got an experienced offensive line, and they feel comfortable with getting the ball down the field at any time to the receiving corps. So. Yeah, he's just by those numbers alone, you can tell how explosive he is.
Maybe this is a simple question. How important is execution for your team in all phases when you play a road game like this?
Yeah, everything. I mean, it's important, not just on the road, but at home too. I think what we have to do as coaches is give our guys our best chance by putting them in the best position we can to be successful. Playing hard is one thing, which I thought our guys did last week, right up until the end, particularly after a third quarter where things were going downhill quickly. But to bounce back and finish the game the way they did, to get it within a score and to keep fighting was a good sign. And So, you know, on the road, it's the same thing. You got to stay together and believe in each other, and not just play hard, but execute. And you know, I think our guys learned a lot last Saturday night, and we'll continue to get better this week.
All right, Cats and the Cougars coming up on Saturday morning, kickoff at 9 a.m. And more Wildcat Weekly coming up right after this.
Life is what you make it, full of endless possibilities and opportunities at every corner. In our fast-paced world, Hughes helps you with what matters most, delivering dreams, adding value to your life. Where you bank matters, for you, your family, and your future. We are local, rooted in the community you call home. Join us on the journey of life. Hughes Federal Credit Union, ranked the #1 credit union in Arizona by Forbes.
Snap, take first to the end zone, wide open, caught, touchdown, Arizona.
Wildcat Football Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, ranked by Forbes as the #1 credit union in Arizona. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/Best Credit Union.
He is Tony Ellison, wide receiver for the Wildcats, Arizona and Houston Saturday morning. Hey, how about these early games, Tony? I mean, you guys are used to playing late at night. How about an early game?
It's going to be different for me. Obviously, I'm going to have to go to bed a little early this week, so I'm pretty much a night owl, so I'm going to have to change my schedule a bit. But, you know, like Coach Sullivan tells us a lot, you got to be able to adapt to different situations, and that's what I'm going to have to do.
You really came on late last season, now into this season. When did you feel that, I don't want to say it became easy for you, but when you really kind of grasped the idea that, hey, I can play college football, I can do this?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nerve-wracking, especially when I first got here. You see, 50,000-plus fans, and you kind of get nervous, like, oh, man, should I even be out here? But then you got to think, I'm here for a reason. I'm on a scholarship, and these guys trust and believe in me. And when you step in those, between those white lines, you got to know that you got to do your job. And you got to execute the game plan and what they tell you to do because they trust you. Everybody, the fans, everybody puts you out there to trust you to do your job, and that's just kind of my mindset.
My impression is that you've got great hands. You make a lot of catches that sometimes look like they're impossible, but you make them possible. Is that something that you've prided yourself in, how did you learn how to catch the ball?
It was funny because in high school I was a running back, so I probably only caught 5 balls in high school. But it's summer work. Going to the jugs and always just catching probably 50, 60 balls every day and try to just always do the little things, make you better. And it's funny because in camp I dropped a couple of balls and my coaches were making fun of me because something came out on Twitter like I didn't drop a ball last year, and they were kind of poking fun of me a little bit. But and they like to say you're not a gamer because you gotta be able to practice well too. And I've always believed in that too. You gotta be able to practice a certain way, and I always practice as hard as I can and give it the best effort. And I think sometimes I don't maybe the game's a little better than practice, but always believe you got to practice well too.
Now, I don't know if you're going to run into Ed Oliver at all at Houston, but he's an outstanding defensive player. We'll give him his due. How do you attack a guy like that, or is that really not something that you need to be overly concerned about?
Well, I don't think he was that dominant against us last year, and I'm never worried about a player. I'm always worried about what I got to do and what I can do to help our team. But obviously, yeah, respect to him. He's a great player, but we're going to have something for him. Our mindset is always we don't care who's in front of us. We're going to go attack them. And we're not scared of anybody. So that's another thing to what you said of being able to play college football. You got to have a mindset of confidence. I can go out there and do whatever you want, and I'm not scared of anybody.
Yeah, I know it was a tough loss last year to Houston here, but any particular memories about playing the Cougars?
No, they're just a physical team, and they're rowdy, and they talk a lot of smack. So you just got to stay composed and poised and do your job.
Good. He's Tony Ellison, Wildcats and the Cougars, Saturday morning from Houston.
Thank you for watching Wildcat Football Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.